we will discuss about third criteria pollutant, that is sulfur dioxide. First, we will see the sources of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is produced in atmosphere due to the burning of fossil fuels by thermal power plants, steel plants, other vehicles and heavy equipments that burn fuel with a high sulfur content. So we can write here burning of fossil fuels. With a high sulfur content. Number 2, there are some small sources of sulfur dioxide which includes industrial processes such as extracting metal from ores, smelting of sulfide ores and oil refining. So extracting metal from ores and smelting of sulfide ores and oil refining, etc. In third point, I have included the natural resources, which includes volcanic eruption. Now we will move on to the effects of sulfur dioxide. Effects of sulfur dioxide. Number 1 effect. Short-term exposure to sulfur dioxide can harm the human respiratory system. So it can harm human respiratory system and make breathing difficulties. Number 2, sulfur dioxide affects plants severely. How? Sulfur dioxide gas enters plants through stomata and gets oxidized there to sulfur trioxide. This sulfur trioxide further reacts with water and forms sulfuric acid. This acid interferes in metabolic process and responsible for reducing productivity. So productivity falls because of sulfur dioxide. So reduces plants growth is another effect of sulfur dioxide. Number 3 point includes it causes yellowing of paper and reduces its mechanical strength. It discolor paints, causes organic fiber to weaken. Even metals get corroded easily by sulfur dioxide. So in one point we can say that sulfur dioxide have effects over the material and materials mechanical strength decreases and discoloration of the materials takes place. So we can write here discoloration of fibers and reduces mechanical strength of pages and discoloration of paint and causes corrosion of metals, etc. So these are the effects of sulfur dioxide on materials. Fourth point is high concentration of sulfur dioxide when emitted in atmosphere. It leads to the formation of other sulfur oxides like sulfur trioxide. Okay, and these oxides of sulfur can react with other compounds in the atmosphere to form small particles. These particles contribute to particulate matter pollution. So sulfur trioxide or oxides of sulfur, actually SOx, which are emitted whenever the high concentration of sulfur dioxide is present in atmosphere, is responsible for the formation of particulate matter. And these particulate matters are very fine particles which may penetrate deeply into the lungs and in sufficient quantity, it can contribute to the health problems. So SOx is responsible for contribution towards particulate matter. So SOx responsible for the formation of particulate matter. And this particulate matter has many other consequences. It also responsible for reducing the visibility in the road, and which has increased the accidental deaths. And some other effects includes it can penetrate into the skin and causes heavy mental toxicity to the human beings and into the body of animals. So these are certain effects of SOx particulate matter. And the last effect is sulfur dioxide and other oxides of sulfur contributes towards the acid rain. We know it is very well that sulfur dioxide gets oxidized to sulfur trioxide in the presence of water. It results in formation of sulfuric acid. So this sulfuric acid contributes towards the acid rain, and SO2, which are emitted from the industries in larger concentration, gets oxidized in higher atmosphere and immediately reacts with atmospheric water to form sulfuric acid, and then it causes corrosion of the metals, and many other consequences are also for the acid rain. So these were the effects of sulfur dioxide. Now we are moving on to the fourth criteria pollutant, that is ozone. O3 is a secondary pollutant. It is not directly emitted in the atmosphere. So how it is formed? When nitrous oxide irradiated with solar radiation having wavelength lower than 400 nanometer results in formation of nitric oxide and oxygen. Similarly, when nitrogen dioxide irradiated with a wavelength lower than 400 nanometer results in formation of nitrogen and atomic oxygen. This atomic oxygen which is formed is highly reactive and reacts with atmospheric oxygen in the presence of nitrogen to form ozone. So this is one of the process for formation of ozone and source of ozone. So the primary pollutant chain reaction are the sources of ozone formation, and then we will see the effects of ozone. Ozone have many effects, and it is along with the other photochemical oxidants causes irritation of eye, nose and throat. It can react much deeper into the lungs even than oxides of sulfur. So it is along with other photochemical oxidants. Results in formation of fine particles which causes irritation of eye, nose and throat. Causes irritation of eye, nose and throat, etc. It causes headache, chest pain and altered red blood cells. So it causes headache, chest pain, etc. Besides affecting life, photochemical oxidants including ozone also affect materials like rubber plants, textile fibers. So it also reduces the strength of fibers. So these are the effects of ozone. It has some light and short-term effects to the living organisms and metal surfaces and other materials. Now we will move on to the fifth criteria pollutant, that is lead. The fifth criteria pollutant is lead. First we will see the sources of lead. Sources includes gasoline and oil burning, which includes lead as an anti-knocking agent, tetraethyl lead. So burning of gasoline and oil is one of the source of lead in the atmosphere. Number two includes paints, pigments, varnishes, um, all uses lead to impart intense color. So are the sources of lead in the atmosphere. Number three, glass manufacturing industries and lead acid battery manufacturing industries are some sources of lead in the atmosphere. So glass manufacturing industries and lead acid batteries are some sources of lead in atmosphere. Now we will see the effects of lead. Lead is carcinogenic in nature. It causes cancer. It causes cancer. The first effect is very adverse. Second effect, lead reduces the mental balance. So it causes mental retardation. So mental retardation is another effect. Number three, it can cause gastrointestinal damage, liver and kidney damage. So liver, kidney, gastrointestinal disorder are the effects of lead. Fourth point includes uh, the abnormalities in fertility and pregnancy are the effects of lead. So abnormalities in fertility, etc. are the effects of lead. The remaining criteria pollutant is particulate matter. We will discuss it in a next video.